Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another episode of Master Phil in your corner with your host, Master Phil.
Hey, folks, here we are, Master Phil in your corner, here with my partner in crime, Dougie Fresh Friedman, located at the Undefeated Media Studios in scenic but chilly Wyckoff, New Jersey.
Thank you.
So, before we get into our podcast topic today, we're going to thank our sponsors.
Absolutely.
First, we have philross.com. That's a one-on-one and virtual training through the Kettlebell Workout Library. There's over 100 kettlebell and bodyweight-based workouts. Survival strong, defensive tactics, strategies, combinations, and responsive techniques. In addition, American Eagle Live.
Nothing evil about
it. Except if you're a bad guy. Over 200 training videos with kettlebells, bodyweight, martial arts, defensive tactics, knife and stick work, and technique education. All for only $9.99 per month. That's it. That's it for everything. We also have available the Secrets of Kettlebell Training. Learn the basic 8 kettlebell movements: swing, deadlift, clean, snatch, press, get up, squat, and row. Over 100 movements demonstrated and explained in the hard style method of kettlebell training. One-time fee, only $69 for the full access. We also have the Bodybell method, the world's only kettlebell, bodyweight, and dynamic tension certification based on the minimalist approach to strength, health, and fitness. The system is recognized by both ACE and NASM for continuing education credits and is listed on their respective sites. The certifications are available in person and online, and we are having a certification in person in Rye, New York on March 27th. So check out the site and our Facebook page to see how to get involved in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And here, also, just if you happen to miss us live and want to listen to our previous episodes, look us up on the YouTube channel, Master Phil, on Rumble, also under Master Phil, and on our new website. Everything's archived on the masterphilinyourcorner.com. We also have products for training, kettlebells, iso chains, books, all available in our product section under the Dragon Door link. And Burn Along. I'm also a featured instructor on Burn Along. Join me and over 2,000 other instructors for only $14.95 a month. And also, if you want to be an advertiser on the podcast, please let us know. We have a brand new deal for sponsors, and you're going to get a spot on the Master Phil in Your Corner website. And also, you'll be mentioned here. We'll pull you in once a year, so forth, have a little chat with you. So it's a pretty good deal. And it's going to be $199 a month, but we're doing a special right now for next month and a half of only $99 a month for that whole time, for a whole year. So it's pretty good.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
good stuff.
Yeah. So here's the thing. We're kind of revisiting a subject that we spoke about a while back, but gosh, it just keeps popping its ugly head up again.
There's so many puns.
So many
jokes right there. It keeps popping up.
Well, I don't even want to go there. But one thing I do need to address is this subject of the transgender in sports. I've a couple people were supposed to come on with me, and person after person kind of chickened out, to go on air with this subject, go live with this subject. But you know what? I address this subject in my college classrooms, because I teach issues and trends in sports. And this is a subject that we bring up and we discuss it in depth. I have students write papers on it. And I taught this class probably 5 or 6 semesters. And unequivocally, the students all kind of see it the way that we're gonna take this discussion a little bit. And let me put out this caveat right now. I have nothing against anyone who feels that they want to identify as one person or another person. that's fine, man. You know what? Everybody has their thing. Everybody's wired a little bit differently. So I don't want it to be misconstrued that I'm speaking out against the LGBTQI contingent, because I'm not. There's nothing to do with it. I'm just speaking to fairness in sports and fairness in competition. If you look at the rules set down by the USDA and the World Anti-Doping Association, USADA and WADA, they both have they're very strict in these rules in stating that anything that gives someone an unfair advantage should not be allowed. And also, we have Title IX. Now, Title IX was there for the protection of women so that women would have equal opportunity at sport. Right? So let's take a look at a couple of pictures here, and let's pull up the basketball player.
Okay.
So this was from last year. I forget this person's actual Gabrielle Ludwig, right? She's a biological man, identifies as a woman. Now, if you see her, she is head and shoulders above her teammates. She plays on a junior college, community college basketball team. If I were a full-grown guy, I'd be afraid to play against her.
I don't know the complete full of the story here, but isn't she also like older?
Yeah.
Like significantly
38,
over.
yeah,
So even if you
or something like
as
that,
much as I
48.
want to go back and play lacrosse, you have maybe not age limits, but you have NCAA guidelines that regardless of what you identify as. I can't go back and play basketball or lacrosse right now.
Right, well, you have eligibility, and well, actually, there are really no age constraints. It just has to do with eligibility.
Gotcha.
So, if you are 50 years old and you want to go out for a football team, you can go out.
So she never played it in the NCAA until now.
Yeah, I believe
not even as someone else.
No, as a male, I believe she was in the Army.
Gotcha.
But we're talking about a person who's 6'5", over 250 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm more concerned about the welfare of the other girls that are playing on the court with her. I mean, you saw the size difference between her and those other little girls, right? And those of you just listening, I mean, she's literally head and shoulders, at least twice the size of the people she's playing against. This is a big male. Not only is a big female, but a big male. This is a huge person. So what about the safety of these other girls? If you have a person like this charging down the court and running into one of these much smaller biological females, what's going to be the result? I mean, and the other thing is that she's also taking the place of a biological female athlete that's on that team.
Yeah, scholarship or a spot. Yeah.
I mean, so they're not, and it's going to prevent them from going to the next level. And that was what one of the major thrusts of the court case that was brought up by the female track stars in Connecticut, because they were missing out on opportunities for scholarships, for championships, because there was 2 or 3 boys who identified as girls their senior year in high school, and they were just setting records and wiping them out and keeping them out of the medal rounds. I mean, that's
well. Go ahead. Yeah. I got a question for you.
How is that going to be fair? Look, I'll tell you straight up. Look, it's going to destroy women's sports. Okay. Now, my daughter, who is very, very strong, very smart. Okay. She has, she owns 2 powerlifting records in Florida, and she owns 3 in New Jersey.
Okay.
I asked her straight up. I said, if you were to have to compete against biological males, would you compete? She goes, no. Okay. There are just certain things that guys are just better at. And there's certain things that women are better at. But I'm not discussing that. I'm not discussing any of that. The thing that I'm concerned with is the fact that there are distinct advantages that people start out biological male, especially going through full maturation, and then transitioning to a female. Look, even Caitlyn Jenner says, listen, I'm a fully transitioned female, but I could still whoop most men's butt, because this was an uber athlete, like, was the best athlete in the world at the time. Yeah. I mean, it's as a male, is a big, strong guy. So, you're going to be even bigger and stronger as a woman.
Mm-hmm. So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So, trying to be as neutral as possible. We already said at the beginning of this, like, it's not about it's not to be taken personally. Like, you can do and love and do whatever you want. It's a free country.
Yep.
But when it comes down, when we're talking about sports here, these categories, like, there's men's soccer and there's women's soccer, right? So these things have been categorized by these characteristics.
Right.
Why not? So you have the men's league, you have the females league. Why not make like a gender neutral league?
Right. This is the basic consensus. I was speaking to how what we spoke about in my classes, and everyone is of that opinion. Most people feel that, what, and this is the way it should be. Look, no one is against anyone.
Yes, we
don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, but you know what? When it starts become unfair, then then we have an issue. But the problem is, everyone's afraid to take this on because they're afraid that they're going to be labeled as this, that, or the other thing. And you know what? You have to start speaking up. You have to start speaking up, not be afraid of the cancel culture, the woke, and so forth. But one of the problems is that if you look at Title IX, the whole premise of Title IX was to not discriminate. And it was mostly for women because prior to that, there were very little opportunities for women to get scholarships, very little opportunities for women to be involved in sport and be involved. And, being involved in sport is one of the greatest things you can ever do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I promote it for men, women, everything. All my kids have done sports, do sports. My son and both my daughters. My wife was an athlete. I was an athlete. You know what? We're all involved in it. It's great.
Yeah.
It's incredible. The life lessons you learn, I don't think anyone should be precluded from that. But here's the issue. When now this Title IX was put into effect, okay, it did adversely affect a lot of men's sports, especially the non-revenue sports.
Yeah. So real quick, because some people might not know what Title IX is. Just quick synopsis. If you have 10 men's sports teams, you need to have 10 female sports teams.
Right.
Like, that's what whole Title IX is. So
right.
Okay. Just for the people at home that don't know, like, what is Title IX, that you have to have the equal amount of teams.
And it's actually a lot far more reaching than that. Because it has to do with discrimination on any basis. Okay, but in particular for women and people with disabilities, it covers other things other than how it's applied to the NCAA sports. But
even better, we're learning more. I learn something every day.
I kind of teach you stuff. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what we're looking at is you look at what happened now. So here you have like wrestling. Just for example, wrestling. Yeah. There used to be like over 300 Division I, like 350 Division I programs, right? But due to Title IX, it shrunk down to like a little bit over 200. Like, I think there's maybe like 225 right now, because of Title IX, because they had to make allowances. They didn't have the same amount of women's sports.
Yeah, okay? and it was probably easier to cut a wrestling team because it's probably 10 guys on it.
Well,
rather than like a football team that's like 50 guys.
Well, they're not going to cut football. Here's why they're not going to cut football.
There you go.
They're not going to cut football. It has an exclusion there because it's a revenue maker. Division I football programs make a lot of money for these colleges. So you know what? They're not cutting that. At the end of the day, it's all about the Benjamins, and they're not going to bite the hand that feeds them.
Yeah.
So they take it from the non-revenue sports. I mean, you look at there are schools now that had national champions that no longer even have a program.
Yeah.
Okay. Why? It's easy to cut that. Again, what does it affect? There's maybe 20 athletes on the team.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe 23, 24, but there's only 10 scholarships. This is only 10 slots. So what they usually do in that is they divvy the scholarships up among, like there's 20 guys, each of them get half scholarship.
Yeah.
Or whatever. They figure it out. But the problem is this was done for Title IX. Okay. Now let's move forward here.
Yeah.
And the male sports made a sacrifice for this. Okay. Now the women are getting their proper place here. They're getting the same opportunities, so forth. Now they're getting these transgender women coming into their arena. How is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
So this was and I was wondering, how come women aren't
More
using
upset about this?
no, they're very upset, but they were
Yes.
shut down. And you know why?
Mhm.
Because in 2014, the transgender students are protected under Title IX.
How so?
Well, that's what the Obama administration addressed it. Okay? What they
Mhm.
said that the civil rights laws that prohibit sex discrimination in federally funded education programs and activities also bars discrimination on the basis of gender identity, announced the Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights, marking a major victory in the fight to codify LGBT protections into federal law. So, furthermore, they say that Title IX sex discrimination prohibition extends to claims of discrimination based on gender identity or failure to conform to stereotypical notions of masculinity and femininity, and OCR accepts such complaints for investigation. It's a huge 46-page document, but still, that does not mitigate the biological advantage that is given to transgender males over females. It does not address how this outside change, this medical change, is not an unfair advantage to the transgender males. Just to look at one, pull up the one picture of our friend Leah Thompson.
Okay. While I'm pulling it up too,
Leah Thomas. Sorry.
How come there's not a more, I don't want to say prerequisites, but requisites in general? This is so Leah Thompson, you said?
Yeah, there's a picture. It's one of the pictures I sent. Well, that's her right there anyway. Okay, but there's a picture of Leah Thompson where I demonstrate. Let me see, I might have it here. Where it's all right, don't worry about it.
Well, that's her right there.
Yeah, that's her right there. That's her number one ranked swimmer in the country.
Okay.
Last year, as a male, she was ranked number like 472 or something.
Yeah. See if I have that. Yes, because
yeah.
that's a good picture.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
So you're looking at a person who for 3 years was on the UPenn swim team as a male and didn't make a ripple. Okay.
A lot of puns this morning.
And now as a transgender female making a huge splash. Okay. So look, so if you pull that picture up, and for those of you who can't see it, actually even worse, William Thomas was ranked number 462 men's swimming. Leah Thomas, same person but changed gender, is ranked number 1 in women's swimming.
Wow.
Yeah. Here's the thing, and you know that all the other women on the swim team of UPenn signed a document stating that they don't want her on the team.
Wow.
Well, look here. Okay, and just to let you know, there's also a picture of Yale's Isaac Hennig left. That's a female transitioning to a male. Okay, from Yale, right? And then you have Leah Thomas on the right in the picture. If you can't find it, don't worry about it. That's a different one. Yeah, I have it up here, but maybe I don't know which one it is there. So you have this situation, right, where those two are vying for 1 and 2 spots, and then biological, non-augmented, non-changed women are fighting for 3rd place.
I don't even care if it's a bench position. You can't even be like, you're taking someone's space on the team.
Yeah.
So, and you ever see the movie Air Bud?
Yes, the dog.
The dog.
Yeah.
So there's humans, there's dog. This isn't personal, but this is your genetic makeup. This is that genetic makeup.
Right.
It's these people versus those people.
Well, here's the other thing that people don't know too. Okay, it's that one I pulled up there with the genes. Okay, it's not just about sex with people. It's not just about sex.
Yeah.
You know what? We have 20,000 genes in our body. Okay, and now people think it's just about sexual organs. That's the difference. No, Just think, there are 20,000 genes in our body,
Mm-hmm.
and men and women differ in
Mm-hmm.
6,500. So that means a full third of our genes are different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're different. They're made for
Yeah.
different purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So you can identify as whatever you want,
Mm-hmm.
but the truth of the matter, you can't deny biology.
Yes.
Can I go and identify? If my motorcycle decides to identify as a bicycle,
Mm-hmm.
can I go into the Tour de France and win now? I mean, it's a distinct unfair advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can't go and just think you're going to identify. Now, if you do, that's on you. God bless you.
Do whatever you want.
Run your thing, right? But when you come into a different arena and you're competing in sports with
Mhm.
people with a distinct disadvantage, from 462 to number one.
So here's a question for you. Steroids ups your testosterone levels,
Right.
right? So if you were a female and you had a certain level of testosterone in your system, you'd be disqualified for use of steroids, right?
Right.
So like, why don't if we really want to be so politically correct here, why don't we have testosterone level? Like, you have to, if you want to compete in this league, your testosterone levels has to be between this and this. If you want to compete in this league, your testosterone levels be between this and this. Because wouldn't a female on steroids have similar testosterone levels as just a male?
Well, yes and no. They will be improved.
Okay.
You will have obviously higher levels because you're injecting that into your system.
Yeah.
But the thing is that when you have someone who, especially a guy who goes through the full maturation process as a male and then decides to change, you see, there's certain things like shoulder width, hip structure, arms length, hand size, all these different things play into giving a distinct advantage that even if they take the female hormones and their testosterone level is lower than a normal male, it's still, the damage is done. The advantage is already gained. Okay. So, the thing is, like most people have discussed and said, you know what, if you want to do that, you know what, have a whole gender neutral category. Okay. So you know what? So the women don't get adversely affected. And, and if men want to go in it, hey, go in it.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe 462, maybe he was a gender neutral. Maybe he would have been, number 10 or something. Who knows? I don't know. So that would be the only fair way to do it. But the problem is it goes down to it goes to the Benjamins. Think about it. How many people really are, transgender athletes? There really is not a lot. I'm saying, because who's going to sponsor that?
Well, I mean, I'll just use a more popular example, I guess. Like when I first started playing lacrosse, it just started to pop. It was a faster growing sport, right? So you can't control what's popular and what gets money. But I have a question for you: is you're talking about like drawing the lines. We're not even attempting to draw lines.
No.
It's like, where do you draw the line? We're not even attempting to draw lines.
No. We're trying to give we're giving reasons, bona fide reasons, and we're also giving we're giving a solution. Here would be a solution.
Yeah.
You know what? Present a whole gender neutral division. Anyone can go in it. Male, female, transgender, non-gender.
Well, you could even go one more step further. You could have transgender males against transgender males and transgender females against transgender females. So, like, used to be a female, now is a male. Used to be a male, now is a female.
Well, now we're getting all crazy. Then we're going to say people with black hair.
We're not even. Okay, but we're not even attempting to draw the lines, though.
No, we're not attempting to draw the lines. We're providing a solution, but it has to be fair.
Yeah,
it has to be fair. And what's going on right now is not fair. Many women will not compete if they are faced with the best they can do is third. Listen, you were a Division I athlete, right? So was I. Is it fun or does it suck? some aspects.
It's a lot
It
of
takes a lot of hard
work.
work. Yes. Okay.
But you enjoy the
right.
process.
You enjoy the process.
Yeah.
So here, put yourself in the position of these female swimmers. They've been training their whole lives. They didn't just jump in a pool last week. They've been training their whole lives. From a little kid, they're training swimming. To be a Division I athlete, to be a Division I swimmer, you got to be busting your chops, right? And now to go into these competitions knowing the best you can do is third.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah. And mind you, too, swimming is a great example. You have to be in the pool at like 5 o'clock in the morning because it's the only time you can get into the pool to train.
Yeah.
So like you're waking up 5 a.m. swims, 6 a.m. workouts. Like it's not like you just, 3 o'clock, I'll do my training. No. Swimming, there's like crazy hoops. You have ice hockey.
Yep.
Your practice is at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. For these ice rinks, like
it's crazy.
It's not easy.
Well,
it's not easy.
No, listen, because when I was in college, we had wrestlers lived with swimmers, like non-revenue athletes lived together. Those guys were in the pool like 4 or 5 in the morning, and then they were doing their workouts, and then they were done with that. They did their 3 hours by 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
I mean, what kind of life is that? Yeah. Then you have to go to school and study. So here's these bunch of girls busting their behinds to compete and go to Ivy League, which is very difficult. Okay. And now they're being pushed aside. Yeah. Their rights are completely being smashed. And you know what? Their rights are being smashed by that DSA information for the transgender ruling on Title IX. Now, listen, should anyone be discriminated against? Never. No, I would not stand for it. I would not stand for it. If somebody said, "Oh gosh, this person for whatever reason, likes women, men, whatever it is, they can't compete." No, man, I'll fight for their rights. I will fight for their rights 100%. But I'm also going to fight for the rights of the women who are in these sports who do not have a fair shake at winning. Yeah, it's not right.
And there's no women's football team. And you've seen it. You've seen it. Well, okay, but like
football league.
Yeah. So where I'm going with this is like there's times in high school where since there's there's not enough women to play football, they let a woman be on the football team. Right. In high school, I can understand that the taxpayers are paying for everything. There's not like money exchange, but like when you're going to college, you're like getting scholarships. You're going to go to be pro. Like you're taking opportunities away. Even like I said, even if it's someone who's sitting on the bench, like that person could have been part of that team, helping the team, and that's taken away from them.
Yeah, if you're looking at it and you say, well, gosh, okay, so there's no women's football team in high school, so she can join a team. Yeah, good for you. But she doesn't have a stink advantage. But now, if there's a let's say guy wants to join, or transgender guy wants to join the women's basketball team or the women's volleyball team or something like that, or run or identify as a female so they can win track meets. I mean, look, I'm not saying maybe I'm not going to cast the aspersion saying, hey, you know what? That's why you're doing it so you can win. Okay. But you are giving yourself a distinct advantage by competing against people who are not as strong as you, not as fast as you.
Well, just like it's like the steroid comparison. Like you have an advantage.
Yeah, you have an advantage,
and it's impossible for everyone to be happy and get their way. Right. So it's impossible. It's very unlikely to get a full team, college team of transgender basketball players. Right? Right. So why not do it instead of school? Why don't you do by region? So now you got 5 schools that can come together and maybe make up a basketball team.
Whatever they want to do, great. But you know what? I think the thing is that what is right now is wrong. Yeah. This is wrong. It's wrong on so many levels, and it's unfair to women. And women have been shut down. Again, I have a vested interest in this. I don't want my daughter having to compete against transgender men. Yeah, I don't want it. Yeah. There's a distinct advantage.
It has nothing to do with men or female, right. but men have more muscles, more testosterone. Like, don't even say men. Say X chromosome, Y chromosome, and then you can have the Z League.
Yeah, but the thing is that the problem is that people do not want to speak out against this practice because they're going to be perceived, because they will be painted by the woke, by the mainstream media as being anti something, which, you know what? I'll tell you, no one that I know is anti any of this. I have discussed this in our classes, and no one disagrees that this is not correct. No one. And I have a lot of athletes in my classes.
So here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have like men are able to, like the swimmer you brought up, that man is now competing against women. Say I got cut from the basketball team, but I still want to play basketball. Can I just be on the women's team?
Well,
do I have to you have to change your name?
You have to identify it as a female. If right as this stands, you get cut from the men's basketball team, you say, you know what, I'm identifying as a female, and then you go try out. Who's going to say that you don't?
Well, no one's gonna stop you these days.
You can't question that. Say, and this is where it has to be. The line has to be drawn on. What are you biologically?
Mm-hmm.
You're a biological male or biological female. What were you born as? Okay, so that's where you compete. That's the bathroom you use. Mm-hmm. Now, if you go and change and transition, and you want to use a female bathroom, go ahead. But you know what? If you just identify with that, no, it's not cool. But the problem is that there's also an MMA fighter, Francis Fallon Fox, whatever, right? Almost killed 2 female fighters. One crushed her orbital. I never seen it already, right? Because she was born a male, and now she's fighting females.
I'm surprised there's not like a feminist movement against this.
But they were shut down by that ruling that I talked about in 2014. But I think they need to challenge this. I mean, like we challenged people on plastics a few weeks ago. I want to challenge these women's groups. I want to challenge them to go after this and have a Title IX properly applied to protect women athletes, because they're not protecting women athletes right now.
Not at all.
No.
So it's crazy.
But if I'm elected, no.
Master Phil for president, absolutely.
Yeah.
Taking on subjects that no one wants to even think about or talk about. They're too scared. But these are things that need to be talked about, because, like I said, even if it's one person on the bench that couldn't be on the team, you're saying yes to this person, but you're saying no to that person.
I know. For you, and the person you're saying yes to has a distinct advantage. That is my issue.
Yeah.
The distinct advantage. Well, good, man. So, I look forward to getting some feedback on this, and I'm sure we're probably going to maybe broach this subject another time, right? We may bring this up again.
I'm sure there's people out there who feel passionate about it. So if you're interested in getting involved in the conversation, no matter how you feel, maybe you have some viewpoint against the bill of points we're making. Like I'm sure, like Phil, you would love to, have that discussion with people.
I would love to have a discussion.
So please go to masterphilross.com and send us an email or a question, and we would love to see your point of view and answer your questions. And because it definitely needs to be talked about.
Without discussion, no solutions will be presented. No, we will not get any solutions without proper discussion. Well, great stuff, guys. So we're gonna wrap up today's session. And this is episode number 53 now?
53, I believe.
Wow.
So
all right.
Wow. So I mean, there's holidays and you miss weeks here and there, but like in live stream time, that's like 1 year of live streams.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's not
53
too bad.
episodes. It was very nice. So happy
Yeah.
anniversary.
All right, guys. This is Master Phil with Master Phil in your corner. Strength and honor.